I'm Anne Cleary and this is Denis Connolly, my partner. This is called Joining the Dots, and it's inspired by the work of a Swedish psychophysicist called Gunnar Johansson. Gunnar Johansson was particularly interested in the gestalt of biological movement, so the shapes made by biological movement and how we could interpret those. And he reduced the information until he got to a position where he was working with 13 points only on the actor's body. So
and essentially, if you've any less than those 13 points, you don't have a human being. If you've any more, you've extra information. And those 13 points give you the essence of a moving human being.
We had this notion of making a work about these dot figures for quite some time, several years, but we really never got the opportunity to do it because it's actually quite a big production. The piece looks very simple, but it took a lot of work. We came over to London in the autumn with a choreographer, and we worked with two schools here, and we got the children to do choreographed gymnastic movements over the windows and over the architrave, so they're climbing over them, doing stretches, push-ups and that kind of thing on the architecture of the building. Both Denis and I are architects, and we're very, very interested in that whole way of facades, the indulgence of treatments of facades in Renaissance architecture, for example, and in other Rococo architecture, that joyful explosion of figures flying around and appearing,
and the way in which they would have used art to as a counterpoint to the weight of architecture, something very, very light. So the German Gymnasium is this very stripped down Protestant building with no decoration whatsoever, and what we're doing is something quite Catholic and Rococo of adding figures to the facade, which surround the windows, which work in the architrave, which are over the bow window, and which sort of flow over the facade.
What's interesting is that even though the figures are 13 points on a flat plane of light, and all the points are the same size, at certain moments the figures take on a three-dimensional aspect because your mind creates it. You see, that somebody's turning around, and suddenly it becomes three-dimensional, even though it's not.
And of course, when they stop moving, which they do, they just become abstract again.